Today, I'm going to show you an easy way to create a custom display for your LEGO collectible minifigures. Ciao a tutti, welcome back to ABrickDreamer. I'm here with this MISB minifigure display case that I will talk a little bit more later on in the video. So my concept is to build a sort of landscape display for my minifigure. Not this generic one, but in particular the Space series and the D&D series. So here I have my proof of concept. So the idea is to have a landscape and a sky that go all the way and tie together the minifigure. Here the minifigure you can see are not connected directly here, but the case comes with this trans clear studs. This is to prevent damage to the minifigure, but this is just a little proof of concept for the idea that I had to tie everything together with this landscape. Now, let's bring the first landscape that I built. I'm not going to do any like step-by-step instruction for this because it's fairly basic and everybody can do with their own part. So here I have the landscape for the sort of moon-based kind of thing. The size of this is I think 7 by 59 because this is the measurement for this display case, but you can do any size you want. You can see here I just have two all around like a frame at the bottom, front and back, one layer of plate, and then everything is connected in the middle with a little bit of extra support. This one was very simple and straightforward, so it's a gray landscape. Let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can have a better view at this build. I played a little bit with elevation. I added a few little details. And now I'm going to start to add a minifigure because then we can add a little bit more details and also we can add the background. And it's going to be pretty interesting when you see the final result. So over here, we're going to start from the left. Here we have the Blacktron minifigure. A good thing here is play a little bit with elevation. So you can have some minifigure a little bit higher, some minifigure a little bit lower. Try to play a little bit with the colors and get the minifigure to interact with them a little bit. The good thing with this is that you can play a little bit with the pose of the minifigure. So you cannot, you don't need to display them all face forward like in this display, but you can get some a little bit more interesting positions for this minifigure that I think it helps to highlight them a little bit better. So continue over here, we have the Orion minifigure, not much details for that. Somewhere back here we can add this one. We can add a couple more details. So for example, here we can add a couple of these crystal kind of pieces to give a little bit of extra color like that. And here is where I decided to add a little bit of extra detail as an experiment. So here I wanted to add a sort of kind of moon-based space station kind of thing. So I create a sort of base that is going to be like an indoor kind of area. At the front, I create a kind of entrance, a kind of edge that I connected with some modified bricks at the back. Of course, I keep the front open so we can see the minifigure. And outside here is where I'm going to place the spaceman here floating with a spacesuit. I think it's pretty good. Also, this one, using those, we can get a little bit more elevation without adding slopes. I think it's a pretty good look. And then inside here, we are going to add two more minifigures. Before that, here, the technique I used before in my habitats as well, I'm using the plates, the tiles that come as a base for the minifigure for the starry sky at the back. So I'm going to add this over here. So this is going to be the background that they can see from inside the station. And then I just need to frame it like so. Here I'm going to add the last two minifigures, that is the chef and the nurse with the space baby. And I think this is pretty interesting already. But now we need to add the background, we need to add the sky. So for the sky, I decided to use the same technique that I used for the habitat, I think, for the ice planet. By the way, if I didn't mention here, I added some water, which is not realistic, but I wanted a place for the penguin here for the ice planet minifigure. So this is something like in the Tales of the Space Age set, where we have these colors fading in the background. So I'm going to add these at the back side like so, and another one on the other side. The color scheme, I decided to go with this orange. So here I did a little mistake. I need to remove this and connect the sky first, because then at the back I have a plate to which I then can connect this one. Let's fix it. Okay, like so, more or less. let's put back the minifigure. Sorry about this little hiccup, but now we are almost done for this series of minifigure and wait to see the D&D, which is even better. Now that we have this display, you can see it's pretty cool. We can add a couple more details on the background as well. So I'm gonna add this printed tile as a sort of red planet over here at the back. I'm gonna do the same over here with this technique that I used before in many habitats, as well as a little rocket over here coming outside there to fill that gap over there. So you can see now it's pretty interesting. Now I want to show you this one going into the case. It fits perfectly into the case. In some area I could have gone a little bit taller, but depending on how the case is built, then you can do that. And also here is how it looks on shelves. It's actually pretty good. It looks pretty nice on its own together with other Lego sets. But now let's move on to the D&D. Actually, before the D&D, a couple of words about the display case. MISB, I will link it down below. There is a promo code ABrickDreamer for $10 off. This is coming from Singapore. It fits 80 minifigures. So far, I'm really happy. Now I display my minifigure here. It comes with a clear stud, so it protects a little bit the minifigure from damage. It can be closed with magnet, so keep most of the dust off. I'm really happy with this, so I will put a link, affiliate link down below if you want to check it out. It's also a way to support the channel. But now let's move on to the D&D. So here, the base I actually did it even more simple. So there's no support in the center because here I have all the right pieces. I learned a little bit from the mistake on the first landscape, and I create this. I decided to build this in three different areas. Each area will contain 4 minifigures. Let's start here from the back. This is quite interesting. This is the dungeon area. You can see I'm already using some of the tiles that are printed from the set and some sort of stairs that lead into the dungeon. I'm going to start by building the back where, again, I'm using these tiles as some details at the back of this dungeon that I think they look pretty interesting. They look a little bit like kind of dark windows kind of thing. I'm going to complete the wall over here like so, and then all the way here with another flame there. That was an additional piece that come from the minifigure, so I decided to add that flame over there. Over here, we can start to add some of the minifigures. So on the back side over here, I'm gonna add this one. I don't remember exactly the name of all these minifigures. The red dragon is gonna be here a little bit higher. Again, same thinking. Some minifigure a little bit higher, some minifigure a little bit lower, some minifigure in front, some minifigure at the back. Something like this. And over here at the front, I'm gonna put the mine flare. So you probably saw already my Tavern, and it was nice video, quite popular, with all these minifigure. Now, again, another reminder, if you have suggestions for the habitats, please keep them going. I'm not familiar too much with the Dungeon and Dragon lore, so if you have ideas for habitats for each one of these minifigures, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, adding more details here at the back, I'm gonna add this big kind of cone kind of slope. Hopefully I don't make any damage there, to which I can add then another flame to add a little bit more color, a little bit more details to this dungeon area. And then I'm gonna create the entrance of the dungeon that is pretty detailed, even though in a very small size. So this is gonna connect over here, create an entrance to the dungeon, just adding a few more slopes. And then we can carry on over here where I have this kind of rock path that then goes all the way here. And I'm gonna add a pine tree made with the new fern, not new anymore, fern pieces, and this is gonna be the sort of forest kind of outdoor area. Maybe here as well we can start to add the sky. Here I did a very simple one because I was running a little bit out of other colors. I think other shades of blue would suit this better, but this is what I had in my collection. So here we have the minifigure, we have the barbarian, the dwarf barbarian, walking towards the entrance of the dungeon. You can see, of course, when you create these separations, it's a little bit difficult because it takes more space off the minifigure, so then the minifigure end up to be a little bit too close to each other. On the back side here, I'm gonna add the ranger, and here is the dog as well. The paladin is also walking this path. This is one of the fan favorite of this series. You can see these minifigures are quite bulky, they take up a lot of space. And then over here, I'm gonna add the, this is Halfling Druid, I think, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. This also was a bit tricky because he has this long stuff that take quite a lot of space. Now, over here, I'm gonna shift to a tavern. So I'm gonna add one detail over here. And for the walls of the tavern, very simple details. I have a lot of masonry. Gray at the bottom, frame in reddish brown, and then tan and dark tan to create a little bit of interesting details with 3 of the all kind of shields over there for some details. And then I have an interesting detail for the door. I basically had only half the door, and then we need to imagine that this door will continue then to the front of this landscape. But I think this looks pretty interesting. And now over here we can add the last 4 minifigures. So we have this one over here. We have the witch, the queen witch at the back with the pot with the purple flame coming up. This is also an accessory that comes with that specific minifigure. We have the vampire one over here with this glass. This is a scene a little bit that look a little bit like the one that I had in my tavern. And this one goes over here. Sorry. This is basically the bard sitting on a table. And here is my completed set of D&D minifigure. Now I'm going to put this up in the display as well. You can see that it actually looks pretty nice in the shelf. Sorry, in the cabinet. But on shelf also, it looks pretty good. So this is an interesting way to display your own minifigures in a little bit of a different way with not many parts and accessible to any kind of mock builder, more experience and less experience. Talking about that, please stay tuned because soon I'm gonna, actually on Thursday, I think I will start a new series here on my channel, additional to my mock series, which will be a sort of Lego mock builders news with mock of the week, article, noteworthy, and all kind of resources that might be useful for everyone that want to build mocks or starting to build mocks or is already a mock builder, and I'm planning to do that a weekly episode. Also, if you would like to support my channel, there are many ways you can do it. Of course, the best way is to watch my videos, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, or if you want, I have a membership with my weekly vlog videos with all the behind the scene of my builds. There is affiliate link in the comments in the description below with the minifigures, D&D, the space, with the display cabinet. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I will see you on the next one with the D&D habitats. Meanwhile, you can go and check out my series of space habitat that I built not long ago. Thank you for watching. Ciao, ciao.